clinic has been here maybe 19 years and is basically set up in the center of the community that we serve. The majority of Cincinnati's housing projects are almost in a sort of or they wrap themselves around us, really.
Where the clinic's located, it's a food desert. The nearest grocery store is 3 miles away. The surrounding food pantries, they're only open on certain days of the week. Having the pantry in clinic was a way for them to serve those families immediately.
90+% of our patients are on government insurance. I think it's 92% live below the poverty level. We have the highest infant mortality rate in Hamilton County.
Food insecurity is one of the biggest concerns. It's brought up multiple times a day. I have one family that comes to mind. It's a mom that has 3 boys that are school age, junior high, so growing, and they just eat a lot of food, and she is extremely hardworking, maximizes all of her resources in the community, but often runs out of food at the end of the month.
You'd be surprised how hard it is for people to get it, especially medical providers, when they're like, well, why isn't this mom, she's got this depressed kid, why isn't she taking him to counseling? And why aren't they using their asthma meds? I'm like, because they don't know where they're gonna get lunch. It's one thing to go into a room and have a family tell you their issues and be able to educate them on here's what you could do to fix it. Like, if you're not sleeping safely, you should put your baby in a crib, which is all great, but if you leave and you don't have a crib, it's a kind of a moot point. Same exact thing with food. What happens is you can have a really difficult family who's grumpy, irritable, and then you go, you know what, I saw that you need food, can I get you some? And you can almost see this like, oh, and then you bring it in and it's better than what they thought it would be because they thought you were gonna bring in a whole bunch of cans of green beans, and it's not just green beans. And so then they're almost like, you can see the transition.
Being able to hand over that food, I think, has been a bridge to build trust. Families have said they didn't realize they'd be able to walk out with one problem solved out of their day. Hopple has done an excellent job of being able to build trust, and the food is a main component of that, for sure.
The food pantry has been a huge success. It's a really interesting dynamic, how powerful food is.
When we have fresh vegetables, it's really fun to have the families interact with our staff. It's really beneficial. We know that food insecurity is one of the biggest challenges that families face in clinic settings like ours.
It's a really big deal because we had no idea that it would have that kind of impact. Aside from the fact that we're just feeding hungry bellies, and kids learn better, parents are nicer when they're not going hungry.